watching the clock, 10,000 hours go by. I keep putting in work, the tears are filling my eyes. I swear I've never been tested like this, but this is mine. It's not a matter of chance, just a matter of time. Never look back. If something standing in my way, I always push back. If something seemed impossible, I never took that. Nah, cause now I know better. Can't stop, won't stop, I won't quit ever. This world is won't take me. The highest fall, it won't break me. The blood and sweat is what made me.
I'ma get mine, just a matter of time.
Hello everyone, we're now with Dangun and Vittori for the midway analysis segment. And today's second match, BBQ vs SKT. So for now, we'll briefly analyze what happened in this game. You know, a lot of the fans here today were very worried about SKT's performance. You know, in the earlier stage, it looked like BBQ was leading the game, but it turned out that SKT was in fact the stronger one. And SKT was able to make those kills like throughout the match. So, you know, we're gonna take a deeper look into the game soon. Let's look at the highlight. So we paused the game to, you know, analyze the situation. So BBQ was unable to secure their vision control. And, you know, Crazy's Mundo was unaware that he was getting targeted by the SKT family. You know, Crazy was actually hitting the Scuttle Crab, and then he gets caught out. You know, like, at this situation, the game wasn't in favor of SKT. But by catching Crazy out, you know, BBQ making these rushed calls and these rush plays actually led to their downhill. You know, they definitely lost a lot of those leads here, and you know, they ended up making many deficits. You know, and this costed them to, like, later in the later game to, you know, suffer because they were unable to get much gold out of this. You know, one thing sure, there was BBQ. You know, SKT was keep taking the initiative, while BBQ was very indecisive in their plays. So we have another highlight prepared. You know, Sejuani, you know, comes from the side and ults Varus, but Tahm is able to secure him by devouring him. And Tahm gets pulled by Effort's Pike. And because Pike was able to pull Tahm Kench in, Tahm Kench is still in the range of SKT. And here Mundo TPs to save his team. And then Swain gets prepared to pull off a lot of damage. And Nessus also goes in with his ult. And you know, without Nessus, you know, having to auto attack and Q the enemies, he can just, you know, do a lot by using the W slow. And here Effort's Pike is able to use Death from Below to secure 2 kills. You know, it feels like this teamfight wasn't orchestrated properly by SKT, but they were able to come out on top. Yes, definitely the skill sequence wasn't done perfectly, but you know, generally SKT came out on top. I feel like BBQ has to gain their confidence and their concentration back. And with this team fight, SKT is able to make a comeback. And here are a few comments from the community. And you know, they say Bang Swain was able to get in that team fight really well. And Faker's laning phase was really good as well. And Efforts Pike was the real MVP. And another comment says Blank's performance has been gradually getting better these days. The game's not over yet though, guys, so we still gotta look forward to the next match. And one line summary please. You know, Efforts Pike was really good. So let's say Effort Pike OP. Yep, and that summarizes the midway segment. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Andy. Would you say that that game was a demonstration of Pike being OP?
Hey, if you have to put a one-line clever summary, sometimes stretch a bit. Atlas says Faker will win the MVP in game number 1 of this second series. I thought his laning phase was really good. I'd say ever since we saw his Aatrox and his Yasuo, even though the Yasuo game lost, his mid lane management has struck me as, once again, the sort of stuff that gave people such high impressions of him years ago. I think he's really back in form after a spring season where he was pretty poor. Faker has had some very good moments, and the first sighting of the Aurelia definitely looked pretty good.
Yeah, the Aurelia Swain combination there in full effect. His effort helped secure that kill. Maybe that's why he seems OP. He's landing a lot of these bone skewers. Goes with the most unfortunate ultimate we've seen for a while on the Varus.
Gotta say, Ghost has had a couple of poor games in a row, and he doesn't have a lot of great games behind him, so I could really do with seeing Ares on.
Yeah, maybe.
Just not Vladimir, because he kind of just played Vladimir, lost those games, and got subbed out. So I'd like to see Ares on a marksman. He hasn't got to play one yet, and they must have brought him into the squad for a reason. Ghost struggled, SKT outscaled, and then some. The Gathering Storm, Power Spike was hit by Nasus, and then people were hit by his Kayn, and it hurt.
It certainly did. He got solo killed level 1, didn't matter. Was Nasus in the late game and certainly got there as he was augmented by the rest of his team as well. You see, just chasing after for kills, but already it was done. And look at that grin on Faker's face.
There we go. He thought the camera would go into a little bit later.
Yeah.
Not usually one to grin.
Nope.
But the great one grins after game number 1. Bit of a grimace from his opponent attempt. Ready for a pick and ban. Ready for a second game in this series.
Yeah. See what the adaptation's going to be, because remember, guys, it feels like blue side has been a lot stronger, especially today. However, BBQ had the blue side last time around, and SKT will now be wearing that badge. So a little bit more flexibility when it comes to bans. The Taliyah and Nocturne seem like guaranteed red side bans almost every single time. What are they going to do as far as first pick is the other question. Will it be the Faker Zoe we're going to see here in game number 2?
I think the Sejuani needs to be banned by BBQ. They tried a strategy of going pig hunting on the Nidalee. It didn't work, and it also pigeonholed them overall into a sort of scenario that didn't really help BBQ's fortunes as the game goes on. So scaling team fight, I already mentioned that I wanted to see that from BBQ. Easy to execute, again, for our bottom teams, I think is the way to go. Be very interesting to see the 0-8 versus 0-8 if we do. Which team goes for kind of the Galio Camille, and which team tries to get a bit more tricky. See if SKT wants to be tricky, because Zoe ban on blue side is a little bit tricky when it comes to what they want to first pick.
We've literally seen Zoe first picks every single game. Actually, no. One game she wasn't picked first, but was still picked on the blue side of the Rift. So, will be interesting to see what we're going to do without the Zoe on the map. Aatrox being the final ban here for SKT, and Nocturne standing out a lot here for BBQ.
Seems unlikely it'll be left open, so first pick Sejuani is very possible. Bang had a good game on the Swain, and they just say, screw Sejuani. We really want Swain, so the Swain priority here, because of the flex pick, is clearly super high.
Yeah.
I imagine Shen would be taken second round, and that would just be a duo lane from SKT. As Shen is still available.
Could be Shen Vladimir picked up here for a potential bottom lane. I believe we've seen Tempt play the Vladimir once as well, but no, Sejuani's going to be locked in here. And Trick now thinking about what he wants to do. Not often do you trust the hovers of Trick until they're locked in.
The Aurelia priority would be very high, given the scenario where Zoe is banned out. The Yasuo, though, is a victory for the side of BBQ, and Tempt looked good on it, was banned in game number 1.
They'll take it here.
Yeah, that's fine. I think maybe Faker's Galio will come out as an answer to it. But I already mentioned the Shen is still available, and I think Shen would be a good pick here for the side of SKT.
The Trundle is going to happen, so that's Sejuani Trundle matchup that we've seen so many times. Going to once again come in. Blank going to be the one piloting the Trundle this time, though. What does Faker do? What does he pick up here? Do they keep the flexibility of the Swain an option? Or does he want to take something into the Yasuo right here?
If you want Shen, I think you have to take it at this pick, so we'll see if that's something they want to consider, and then hold on to mid lane for a little bit later. And it seems like they don't want Shen. It seems like they're happy with the double displacement of the Pyke, and they will take Pyke.
They like that bottom lane, apparently. Worked out relatively well last time around.
Wanted for you to show no priority on the Shen, though. So a little bit surprising and exciting to see. There was a lot of gold donated with the Pyke ultimate in our game number 1.
And Camille's available, but you can't pick Camille and Shen together.
Not when you're on BBQ, because then Crazy would have to play Camille, and we know how that goes.
Oh god, yeah. Unless we've got like a top lane.
Okay. I guess we've got a Yasuo in the bot lane, because we do see Aurelia taken.
Or
in
an
the first round.
Aurelia in the bot lane.
I guess so. I guess that could happen. It seems unlikely, but possible. See where the draft goes. BBQ already have shown that perhaps the marksmen are not coming in this time.
Yep. And remember, Faker still hasn't let his pick be known either, so we still will have to find out what he's going to be bringing. Mordekaiser going to be the ban here from BBQ.
They've
Just
decided.
seems like they have completely lost the memo of the potential bottom lane.
Could be a mid lane Swain, though. It's not pigeonholed completely. And remember that Swain Trundle are a very famous duo where the Trundle pillar into the Swain passive is guaranteed CC. So definitely no 100% certainty. And if you already have said, hey, we've got Yasuo and Aurelia, we've got Bruisers, you know, there could be a lot of flexibility, right? So it makes sense to just say, all right, Mordekaiser really screws with these double melee bot lanes, something that Griffin clearly found out in their series against KT. So I don't mind the Darius ban one bit.
Yep, Darius going to be along the similar vein. So I like it. Banned for composition, not necessarily for lane matchups.
You just
especially
can't
with the
anymore.
Yeah, the flexibility is too high.
That's the fun thing, is that really bans are much different than they used to be, because it used to be, we got this, you can't have these two good things against that lane. And now it's really, well, the champ kind of has to follow around the map. So just a very different time.
SKT going to ban the Shen.
Yeah, SKT will just ban away the Shen. They're taking Pyke, so they're clearly not going to be taking Shen this game. And anything to help Trick, or I should say Tempt, most likely, but whoever is on the Yasuo or Aurelia dive in to the front line. The extra shielding can make it that much more reliable, so an understandable ban.
Thresh, another source of knock up here.
You can't really get upset about seeing Ignar on a pick champion. It's going to be the Thresh, so two different types of hooks in the bot side can be fun.
Yep. Skewering and death sentencing. I like it.
What does this mean for SKT? As they have a lot of flexibility in their comp. All we know is support and jungle. All three carry roles are up in the air.
Yeah, this will round it out, so we'll figure out exactly what Faker is going to be playing. Mundo to be piloted now by Tal instead of Crazy. Of course, Crazy's pick, we think, is what we're waiting for over the other side.
Could definitely be a fifth pick into something that beats the Mundo. We've seen Lissandra once this season against Funnel.
I love... well, it may not be picked up here, but I love Lissandra against all of these chronically melee champions as well. As, was he thinking about... Oh, we haven't seen this quite yet in the LCK, have we?
You're suggesting the mid lane, Poppy.
That is what I was suggesting.
So this is something that Fly played in solo queue before the season started, because you have the steadfast presence to just keep her cooped up in the mid lane. It's possible. The Poppy is going somewhere.
Yeah, it has to be on the map.
There's been chain buffs for the champion as well, so good memory there, Atlas, of stuff we were talking about just before we were preparing for the first day of the season. BBQ again can still reevaluate, and it's another flexible champion, amusingly.
Yeah, we still don't know quite where that one is going. Crazy hasn't played the Vladimir yet this season, but it could be going into his hands because, to be perfectly honest, where else is it going to go? Do we play top lane Yasuo into Mundo? I don't know whether you want to do that.
Mundo really easily answers Vladimir with the Spirit Visage. I'm going to be honest, Merlinomicon can be picked up pretty early, but it's at the cost of engage items like Proto Belt and other things that you need as Vladimir, so I'm not a huge fan of the matchup being chosen by BBQ. They still have the flexibility. Wait till 20 seconds before giving all our judgment. Seems like Faker will be the first one to follow in the Church of Fly and go to that mid lane Poppy against the Irelia.
Yep, absolutely. Love it. And of course, Faker, if you've watched his stream ever, you know that he's happy to play anything in the mid lane. Has already played Darius this season, and now it's the Poppy. Not quite as Garen that we get excited about, but
Excuse
Poppy's
me,
cool too.
he's played Darius, Aatrox, and Jax. This guy's played
Yeah.
plenty of melee champions. He's finding another one. It's going to
This
be
is
that
how
Poppy.
this is how he transitions into being a top laner. This is how it's going to work out. But very excited to see whether SKT can make this one work, or if the Yasuo is going to get the same amount of work done for BBQ and bring us to a 6-game night, because BBQ could once again figure out this composition and make it work.
I think Yasuo into Swain is a tricky one to pull off, though.
Yeah.
As Swain at level 8 has the stopwatch, as his ultimate is popped, it's hard to actually kill him. Didn't see the summoner choice. Ignite would definitely be helpful coming through from the Thresh, but at least the bot lane is going to be action-packed, because we didn't even mention all the displacement from Swain passive and the good old Bone Skewer.
Yeah, exactly. There are a lot of different options here. But yeah, I told a lie as well. I mean, it's the Irelia coming in for Tempt versus the
Yep.
Poppy, because we've got a Yasuo on the bottom side. So everything is up in the air. We don't quite know how this one's going to go, but SKT came off a good win in game 1. Can they do it again in game number 2? Let's find out.
생선까지 30초 남았습니다.
Damn, the BBQ fans found their voice. Maybe
They
they were off.
certainly were.
Maybe they were off getting their chicken before. Maybe that was what it was.
Well, that sign doesn't need to be read out.
Yeah, we'll just let that one tell its own story,
Reveal
I guess.
yourself.
Oh no. Thanks, Spo
미니언들이
TV.
생성되었습니다.
We're on the fantastic run already this game. As we haven't seen this skin for ages. Thanks, Tal.
There's so many good Mundo skins that you are spoiled for choice. Reminds me of Diablo, that one.
Yeah, it does a little bit. He's the butcher.
A lot of people are going to be asking, all right, I was pretty mad about that Taric. What's going on with this mid lane Poppy from Faker? Seeing the rune choices here, it's definitely for laning phase. Gone for
the Summoner Aerie.
Summoner Aerie and also the Scorch. Remember, the passive will apply to Summoner Aerie, and there are passive buffs as the levels go on. Poppy's been adjusted upwards multiple patches in a row. Some of them straight buffs, other than kind of little tweaks. There's actually less range on the Heroic Charge, the E, than there was before, 50 range down. But I think the big thing for this patch, for 8-12, is, well, we'll have to talk about bot lane
The
first.
big thing is Blank coming in for a very early gank. Immediately exhausts as the flash comes in. Good 3-man play from Ignar as Ghost gets the knockups and bang, he's tanking. Too many minions. Trick turns up at the right time and already it's a fiesta. The pullback comes in as Bang flashes because he's so damn scared. BBQ, they ward off the level 2 gank very effectively.
Ghost played that so well, by the way. That was excellent play from Ghost to get away from it. He didn't flash early because he knew Flash Pillar would come in. Waited for the exhaust. Movement speed, then flashed under the turret and hit the Steel Tempest to disengage. Trick flashed for literally no reason. There was never going to be an all-in there. That one was curious. But still, no one dies, and that's good news for BBQ, given the gank timing coming through from the Trundle.
And also getting the health bar off Bang as well, meaning that they have to wait for Relic Shield procs. Doesn't have any more potions available for the Swain.
We can talk about mid lane after the gank rudely interrupted the analysis. Big buff in the latest patch, 8-12, is the Hammer Shock, the Q, that allows you to wave clear. Got a second taken off it at all levels, so the ability to wave clear got better. And then the mechanic that you abuse in the mid lane is you have Scorch, you have Summoner Aerie to throw your passive, which is up more often. And then when you actually want to gank, You have two forms of CC, one conditional, one unconditional in the ultimate, and you have the ability to stop the Aurelia surfing around. Your steadfast presence stops Aurelia from using Q, from using Flash, and that means you have a lot of ganks set up. You don't die to any sort of all-in trades because you have pretty good base stats, and you can do some playmaking as well. So this is a exciting form of a mid lane tank for Faker rather than the kind of depressing one that was the Taric holding the wave.
Yeah, that was the most depressing. That's not even mid lane tank. That's mid lane. I press W a bit, and mostly I just press ultimate.
First time I saw this in pro play for mid lane, because this was an old counterpick top lane many, many moons ago when Aurelia was around, was Fly. There's a video where that KSV released at the time, before they were Gen G, I believe, where Fly is dealing with Cuvee, and Cuvee's trolling him, talking about how he's playing with his mid lane sub and a rookie that's trying out for the team, where Cuvee's playing top lane Ryze, very normal for Cuvee, and I was struck by the mid lane Poppy being played by Fly against the Aurelia. A very Fly thing to do. He has his own champion pool.
I'm still waiting for the Rammus as the hook lands on the effort.
The Rammus mid lane.
Yeah, the Rammus mid lane that Fly has played in solo queue.
All that lane presence.
He
Max
won
the
on
taunt.
He won on it.
Don't talk about that.
Disgusting. 8-11, what a beautiful time to be alive. Which is when he was playing that Rammus. Don't know whether he's still playing it here on 8-12. Trick looking for a lane gang.
Big CS lead already for the Poppy.
Yeah.
Again, your Q is 4-second cooldown when it gets to lowest level. That's really short for an ability that has a 1.8 AD ratio if you stay on the shock, and in general is very powerful in trades against a melee.
I'm pretty sure as well that, Hook's going to land here on the bottom side, looking to try and bring the Pyke in there, wants to get himself out and does so. Teleport now going to come in. Have they overextended? Looks like Ghost will be able to get himself out with the E as Tal is going to land some cleavers. Again, it's another good play for the disengage, and BBQ are out of there, but it is a teleport used by the Mundo, but not by the Vladimir.
Curious teleport. That was very optimistic. I would say that one sucked, to channel the recent birthday boy in Kobe. Because the Thresh just disengaged with the next application of his Flay and then could body block any further cleavers, so there wasn't going to be enough damage. Oops, I would say about that one.
Well, it's better than Tal getting solo killed, because he can't get solo killed in the top lane if he's in the bottom lane. Perfect. Had his wave in a decent spot as well, so he gets back for when this one comes in there, so only misses out on the cooldown, not necessarily all of the rules. So I'm doing the play-by-play thing, trying to find positives. Difficult when that did look very curious. In fact, the whole bottom lane has looked curious so far this game.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of summoners unnecessarily used, and then another creative skirmish, we could call it.
Creative skirmish. Yeah, we're having to come up with a lot of these
I'm
words.
trying to become
interesting.
Hey,
like,
I cast a lot, and I like to be that oral painter, you know? I like to just paint a picture with my words. And sometimes the picture sucks, you know?
Verbal painter?
Sometimes the picture sucks.
It does. Yeah, it does. Sometimes you're given crappy paint as well. I mean, if you're given just brown, what are you going to draw?
I don't know. Those last two skirmishes, there was a bit of lead in the paint.
Yeah, there was. Unfortunately, someone left it out next to the sandwich. Oh, God.
Well, bot lane's still happening.
It exists. That's true. And Ghost able to utilize this double relic shield lane. Actually, no, we've got a coin threat.
I'm really excited about Ignite mid lane Poppy. I'm going to be honest.
Well, it is probably the best part about this whole game.
The burst range is actually pretty decent. If you look at the Q base damage, it's 240 base, which is not massive. If you hit both sides, plus 8% of the target's max HP, which is pretty good. But it's the 1.8 AD ratio that he does. Obviously doesn't have a lot of AD just yet. Trinity Force is probably going to be the only offensive item, but it adds up. He actually does quite a lot of damage with that ability, and then you add the base of the R and the Ignite.
Yeah.
And you're getting into, say, 400 damage without blinking, and more if you're able to hit the heroic charge. So waiting to see if Baker can pull off a smooth move, and he's certainly pulled off a CS lead so far.
Damn right he has. And remember as well, heroic charge with the pillar. Another fun combo to talk about. Remember the Anivia Poppy combination that Albus Nox Luna debuted at Worlds.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing stuff. You can do the same thing, although a little bit more difficult with the pillar.
Holy crap, we didn't even talk about Swain. Get out in there too.
Whoa!
Do you
There's
pull them
so
through
much
the,
weird
Do you
CC?
pull people through walls? You probably do.
Yeah, I think
You
so.
definitely,
Little ones.
you definitely bone skewer them through
Oh,
walls.
well, speaking of Bone Skewer, nice double flay, but the ultimate's here for Bang. He's been exhausted. trying to get himself out of this fight. It's Crazy's going to teleport in.
comes
Faker,
Poppy!
yeah, trying to get himself amongst it. Ignar uses his stopwatch to try and get out of the way. Steadfast presence no longer there, but the explosion of damage, and Ghost going the wrong way. He's stuck between a rock, a hard place, a turret, all the members of SKT, but can he get out with the ultimate? Heroic Charge smashes him against the wall in effort, grabs that kill. Now he's going to fall down as Crazy finally Hemoplagues in this team fight. Not going to be enough damage, and I think SKT won the fight because Mundo was top lane.
And Crazy came in super early, had a huge TP in
Oh,
his bot
flash
lane.
heroic charge! What are you doing? Faker jumps right on top and now denies all of the gap close. Blank, you have to deal with a lot of minions, buddy, but thankfully King's Tribute's working out, and Tar's going to take a Bramble back as well.
So what happened in there is going to be best shown in the replay. Faker disengaged Crazy, who had teleported when there was no teleport advantage. This is actually a terrible fight, given the fact there's TP advantage for BBQ. But Faker is the one who's able to disengage Crazy. Watch Faker's roll. He gets in, thinks he's going to assassinate Ignar. Doesn't get the wall slam, so it takes a while. Eventually, Ignar goes down, but the big thing is Crazy Hemoplay. That's going to turn it. No, he's disengaged all the way over the wall and comically has to walk all the way around. If this happens, the ultimate here with Hemoplague on top, as was intended, there's 2 or 3 kills as well to the side of BBQ. But for them to go even and for Mundo to proxy waves and take away objectives on the map, that's a big problem.
Yeah, and the off-screen Faker giant boot back onto the Vladimir was certainly the pivotal moment. I was wondering why Crazy hadn't actually managed to make his way in, but I was too busy yelling about all the other crazy stuff that was going on in the fight.
You said Crazy twice.
Well, I mean, he's in the game. You may as well say Crazy a few times.
Yeah, when you talk about MVP in an MVP game, it also gets a little bit weird. But usually you're not talking about MVP, so it's okay.
Okay, well, Faker gonna go back to it, managed to secure the Scuttle Crab.
Awkward thing,
Top side
though,
of the map.
is that but top lane's going to swing the way of Mundo even harder now that his Spirit Visage is going to be early.
Yeah.
Spirit Visage plus Warmogs equals sad Vladimir.
He's also got a gigantic CS lead.
Yeah, that's because the Vladimir went bot lane.
He did. But I mean, the Mundo went bot lane too. He did. For a bit. Sure. Wandered down there. It was a bad move. Blank having a much better time this time around. Going to be stolen out of the way, anything like that. Sejuani, however, picked himself up an assist, but 20 CS down. It's quite a few camps to the tune of about 5 that Blank has been able to pick up, and Scuttle Crabs have been at a premium for BBQ. Blank gets in there. Now, can we actually find the heroic charge? Trick says no, as it's a 3 versus 2. Ultimate flies in from Tempt, and they take down Faker. Blank is going to be soon to follow as the Permafrost sets up the kill. It's a double for BBQ, and now some time with this mid-outer turret.
Really good execution by BBQ. They were waiting for that exact moment whether it was going to be Poppy only or the duo coming in. 3v2. Able to take down the Poppy in a CC chain that never ended. Faker couldn't even use his ultimate. Try to disengage some members there. Watch the replay, and this is just SKT being behind the play, and BBQ play around vision. They also layer CC. Watch the CC bar, it actually never ends before Poppy dies. Blank's already used everything, so he goes down as well. Best play that BBQ has done all season.
Yeah, probably. Seems like one of those comments that could be a little bit facetious, but I think you're exactly
It was
right.
really good.
Yeah.
It's hard when you don't praise a team too much
Yeah.
to pick, but that one was just legit. Really, really well played.
Well, SKT probably not going to be bumped off the road too much from that one. Only 100 gold behind currently this game, 12 minutes in.
Blank will take a red on him. Well, yeah, no gold lead at all. And now Bang just running at Ghost.
Yep, and Effort's going to find the stun there as well. He's going to burn down, doesn't find the X marks the spot, but Bang is still going to secure the kill with the Demon Flare.
And that could happen many, many more times as the items start to come in, because I think you need IE to actually be able to DPS Swain through his ultimate and kill him. In the mid lane, we've been waiting for Faker to truly pull on the hurt. Hasn't done it yet.
Well, Tempt's going to have to keep running here. They do get him underneath that turret. SKT now setting up for vision on this bottom side. Still a minute for the Dragon, which I thought they might be going for, but it might be a steal on the red buff, potentially. At least just vision. Did I say red buff? I meant blue buff.
Reveal yourself, Atlas. As once again, we see Tempt smartly baiting in the mid lane.
Yep, Faker not biting off too much here. That
Tempt is
particular bake.
doing everything except standing next to a wall.
Yeah. Faker should be able to clear it out. Gets all of the creeps once again. Mundo's still got to see S lead on the top side. BBQ just fighting back the vision and actually get the hook here onto Blank. They're layering the CC once again. And this has been a squad that's been getting work done for BBQ over the last few minutes.
Yeah, the three-man squad has been assertive. Blank is trying to play defensively, but actually is getting caught because the engage range is so large, not even including a last breath potentially coming off the screen in future team fights. And it's all about items on to go, so he really needs 2 items. And for now, that's going to be a little bit tricky with how bloody the game has already been.
Yeah.
You back away. Faker isn't able to impact the game too hugely yet. Probably going to be Sunfire Cape on his next back. He's going to be a really hard man to kill, but importantly for BBQ, he hasn't opened up a comical CS lead in the mid lane.
When we look at a game like this, I mean, there's just not a lot of damage coming out from SKT with a Poppy in the mid lane. You mentioned that Galio would be a damage problem for a team with a Swain. Poppy's going to be doing way less. And yes, you can displace people from a fight, but how much does Swain want you to do that if he wants to get maximum damage? Mundo as well wants to be getting, burning agony damage into the fight, as well as, Sunfire Cape if he is going to pick one up eventually. Could be a problem for SKT.
Yeah, Onus definitely on the sway in this game when it comes to damage, and
Thankfully,
SKT,
it's 2-0-1.
SKT have definitely run a few comps in the past that have been criticized for low damage. A lot of their Sivir comps in spring season, you'll remember, were similarly criticized. All about timings. And if SKT are able to make things happen in the mid game, potentially it doesn't matter.
Thanks. Vision of Empire time is going to be really nice on this Swain.
Not necessarily something you'd expect a marksman player to instantly pick up.
Yeah, but Def did the same thing. We've seen a lot of AD carries make those things work as Effort looking for another skewer opportunity. That's a goal for Ignar, who puts down the box thinking that he was going to hit that. And to be honest, I understood why.
A party box, as we call it, when
Yeah.
ultimates go comically wide.
An empty box. Okay, that is a lot of displacement coming in from the Never move, but the ultimate comes down from Ghost, and now BBQ have the rest of the team turning up. Pyke's ult not going to land as Crazy gets himself in and out again with the Sanguine pull, but SKT, they're the ones to grab the kill.
This is why Yasuo into Swain is so tricky. You have so little kill pressure onto a Swain early game. Need the 2 items, don't have them, so Ghost goes down again. See SKT, they would love to monopolize the Drake to find a way to address those damage concerns you were alluding to a little bit earlier, Atlas.
Yeah.
Ocean Drake, start to stack them up, give yourself a back up win condition. Stacking the Drakes, 2 in 16 minutes for SKT.
Not too bad. One of them being a Cloud as well, having a little bit of extra movement speed, certainly going to be good for a composition like this as Blank throws down the pillar. They get the heroic charge into the wall, but Trick, once again, perfect positioning, and underneath this turret is not where they want to be. Burning down his Tempt, and it's a good stopwatch to keep Blank alive, but Trick gets himself in there. His timepiece works, but Faker's timing is all too good. Get themselves out of there, and SKT now looking to siege the turret.
It's just a battle of roaming death squads. Whoever gets 3 people there is getting a kill one way or the other, and this time it's SKT with the first rotation, as Ignar was a bit behind the play.
It's like West Side Story style gang warfare, something like that. Both teams.
Who said what about whose girlfriend is the question here.
That's what I'm thinking.
But it's always fun to see some feisty roams in some, compared to the extended laning phases that we had the majority of in spring season.
Great to see it from Ignar as well, who's been finding the flays at least, even if some of the hooks have gone barely wide. Good to see him moving into different lanes, and Trick has been in the right place at the right time, something we've criticized him for as well, especially this season.
Trick is a really intriguing player because he's made a lot of decision-making errors around the early game in terms of base checking 4 people at a camp that he should have known was a bit cookie-jarred to be trying to clear. But can have flashes of the player who at one time was doing very, very well in the EU.
Yeah. He still is that guy. Hasn't quite found himself here in the LCK, and don't make this Spro TV reference. I could hear your brain.
I mean, the best game I've seen Trick play in the LCK was before he went to Europe against SK Telecom T1 for CJ Entus in that 17-1 season in summer 2015. The only loss was to a CJ team that was playing Trick and Max. Max, of course, now on MVP. So Trick played excellently in that series, but in the LCK so far, hasn't really been a name that we've celebrated too much in 2018.
Not so much. Haven't actually found very much action here since that last skirmish in the mid lane. Trick, standing on his control ward, sees everyone moving up. Good stun's going to land, but Blank not too worried about it, given the fact that he's pretty tanky with his Cinder Hulk as well as his Kindle Gem. And the hook lands onto Bang, but Ignar can't do anything about it.
Poppy going Trinity Force. Iceborne Gauntlet, a possibility, but I think you have to go Triforce for those damage reasons. Effort. Prediction hook will miss.
Yeah, almost found Blank though, if I'm not mistaken. SKT gets some more vision over. Zilla comes down from Blank. Faker does have position around here. This battle for vision on the bottom side certainly going to continue. Good double stun comes in from Temp. Does find a couple of these resets, but he's now in amongst everyone. Effort grabs the kill with death from below. And that was just a little bit overly optimistic from the BBQ mid laner.
No commitment at all from the rest of the team. And like you say, the team that has more members first is the one who is profiting so far. If one CC starts by either team,
Yeah.
the follow-up is just insane. Probably the most from the side of SKT because they also most likely will have a wall for the heroic charge to further the CC duration. SKT walk up, trying to get position in the mid lane. Faker split pushing, of course.
On the Poppy this time around, we'll get some decent damage onto this turret, given the Sheen boosting that attack.
Ike's got some decent decibels.
Yeah.
Hasn't shut up though,
No, he hasn't.
unfortunately.
Attention seeker. Oh.
Well, Faker's just going to get Sheen procs, and Ghost is desperate to get to his second item.
Another champion that really struggles against Poppy.
Yes.
Yeah, Faker just presses his W button and Ghost says, well, I guess I can't go anywhere near you at all. Or near that minion wave. When he does move away, though, he's able to pick up that farm, and that tower is very, very low. Will remain there, not giving, I believe, first turret blood. Yeah, no tower's gone down just yet, so SKT almost got it.
You sound incredulous, but then look at the champions in the game and reevaluate why
How
no
many
turrets
games
have
have
gone
we
down.
had a first turret not going down in 20 minutes?
Not many, but how many games do we have comically feud range champions?
Hey, what about our 10 melee game? I think we had the game almost end at about this time.
I would say that was not the norm, but rather a bit of a thought experiment for Griffin, who didn't realize that Mordekaiser was pretty good against melee champions, especially
Yeah.
early game.
Yeah. That may have been our 19-minute game.
There's been some fast ones.
It has. And was that series as well that was very fast. KT, who get an early lead
Whoa!
and close it out. Pretty
That
good as Tal. Yeah, they grabbed the first turret about 21 minutes into the game. It's going to be Tal that grabs it. All of the gold there for him. As he got a Sunfire Cape before actually finishing off his Spirit Visage. Interesting. Decides he doesn't want to lane against the Vladimir anymore.
I mean, the Mundo is, I think, able to go that way because he's already doing fine against the Vladimir. He's up 30 CS and hasn't gone Spirit Visage and has built AD. Sorry, into
Armor.
countering
Yeah.
AD, so armor. So that lets you know that he's doing very, very well. The Bramble Vest is that weird item where if the Vlad does auto-attack you, it's pretty useful.
Yep. Well, Hook is going to land here. They're trying to layer that CC as they do manage to get the boop out, but it only lands onto the Thresh. The Trundle is dead, but now Bang right in amongst this fight, and the ultimate doing a bunch of work. Good disengage from BBQ means that the Demon Flare is going to be basically irrelevant. We'll clear out the minion wave, but it's a good pick for BBQ.
And a lot of the ults were used by SKT for their disengage as well because they were in terrain under the enemy turrets. Smart of them to disengage. Probably means the Drake, if BBQ are willing to actually invest multiple members, will go their way. Team Mundo and Sejuani walk to it.
Well, Spike should land here onto Ignar. Won't get the stun though, as the flash actually is invested. Ignar respecting a lot, even though they did have the Yasuo and Aurelia waiting in the wings. Tal, he's going where he pleases at this point.
He's in a good spot. Level 14. He's a level up crazy. Like we mentioned, he got away with Spirit Visage into armor stacking. He's doing just fine. Faker's Trinity Force is coming.
Yep.
When I see a mid lane Poppy, I think of Poppies of old, pre-rework.
Oh,
Trinity Force and
yeah.
all the other options, all the Lich Bane into full AP.
I actually just think of Zatai from over in the LPL. And that was actually post-rework, and he still went Ghostblade Trinity Force.
Man knew what he liked.
Yeah, he certainly did. He liked Ghostblades.
I've seen Duskblade Poppy before, so it
Yeah?
could happen.
Maybe.
Makes that auto attack hurt a lot if it's with the passive.
Exactly.
Well, we'll see, Faker, how much damage he'll build. how bold he will be.
I have a feeling it's probably going to be Trinity Force and full tanks. But
Or Guardian Angel.
hey, yeah, true. Maybe he builds a Sterix Gauge. Who knows?
True.
Doesn't quite give you the base damage anymore, but that's okay.
It doesn't have the additive stats that, of course, were famously that positive interaction with the Trinity Force that was always there before.
Yep. It was one of your favorites, wasn't it? Trinity Force into Sterix into Guardian Angel.
That's my Jungle...
Jungle
build.
Vi?
Jungle Vi, yep. That was definitely my Jungle Vi build. Wherever possible, if it applied, you felt good about every purchase, so can't complain.
I took that to the top lane. It worked. It was good.
We got the learning experiment of understanding how much of the damage burden the Poppy will be able to take as the game goes on, because definitely the ratios and the health damage will start to add up, and Poppy, whatever she builds, will be hard to kill. That part we already know.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if you're saying, okay, game slowed down a little bit, you would say BBQ definitely has more damage in the late game, so then you would be able to put those two variables together and say maybe the late game could favor BBQ. I think a lot of that depends on Ghost, and he's now further delayed his build again, so far with Tarragon's and Executioner's calling, when he was already really far behind in terms of gold. CS lead isn't insanely large, but the 0-3-1 stat line isn't helping him.
Yeah.
Infinity Edge to me is really necessary. Ghost has been one of the players who's been...
Well, there's the flash in from BBQ. They've got 4 members up here as already. Effort is going to die. He goes down to the stopwatch to buy time and is going to get out with the extra movement speed. My God, how did he do that? Ate up all the gray health and he's going to get out.
Magician apparently is the next skin for Pi. That was an amazing escape getting through it. I thought the use of the stopwatch there was a complete waste, but they
Me
actually
too.
make it work. In the meantime, bang. Can actually get some good map movements going on. Now Effort, comically still around, is going to stop Ignar from walking straight to mid.
Yeah, Ghost as well. He's going to be moving down here, but I think the damage may have been done. No, not quite. As Crazy's going to turn up. Ignar now has to set down the box for himself, but he's going to get stunned, skewered, and destroyed. Bang picks it up. And the Thresh goes down. So now that mid lane outer turret should definitely be an option, as well as a lot of vision availability. And SKT going to be able to steal away this red buff as well.
If you ever lose your red side jungle control against a Poppy, especially a Poppy that's over-leveled and super fast, you're going to die because the wall slams in the enemy jungle, it's so easy to make heroic charges work. So mid lane outer turret going down, which obviously tricky for Poppy to do on her own, is a really big boon to SKT. Get your control wards down, and if any bad face checks happen, very easy for Faker to punish you.
Well, he was looking to try and punish the Vladimir, but understood that Sanguine Pool's going to be very frustrating. Checking in with Tal, he does have his Spirit Visage completed, so he's happy to go up against Crazy, even though he already was. He's trying to catch back up in farm. About 20 is going to be the difference here for the Vlad. He's got himself a Leandri's
Yeah,
Torment.
you don't see that very often.
No, wanting to go for more consistent damage on the Vlad. Don't mind it. It's going to help him try and at least poke down the Mundo.
Is it wrong that I look at things like that and I'm like, oh, we bought the wrong orb. He bought Haunting Guys by accident. I know that didn't happen, but whenever Vladimir ends up with the Leandris, so look, it does work really well against everyone except for Pyke.
Yeah.
In terms of damage dealt.
I mean, it works really well against Pyke with the Morellonomicon, you know, so you can still probably fight him. That was some good reactions here from Faker. Steadfast Presence comes down. He's trying to fight off 3 versus 1, though. Has the flash, doesn't have the ultimate, remember, as Blank turns up, maybe a little bit late. Attempt is going to be able to take down the Poppy. Faker survived for a long time, but it's not enough.
Keeper's Verdict also did not actually get up. I believe was stunned during it. So was
All right, I
unable
thought that he didn't even manage to use it.
Seems like it might have timed out or he missed it. I guess with the lower cooldown, it means it timed out. I think you were right there, Atlas. Just noted that no one was displaced.
Yeah.
On the side of BBQ, it is around 27 minutes. You always wonder what it means about Baron when someone goes down.
Yeah. Still 3,000 gold lead for SKT. They should theoretically be in control, but they need their Poppy to be once again available. Now without the flash, could be a problem as Effort has made sure that he's utilizing his ability to be sneaky on this Pyke. They have a lot more knowledge that they may otherwise have on other supports.
I'm a big fan of utilizing sneaky. NA, take notice.
Yeah, I was going to say C9 haven't been recently.
I couldn't say the exact same joke, so I was looking for a different approach. You just say sneaky more than any caster I know.
What? He was trying to be sneaky, okay?
I think you say sneaky more than some NALCS play-by-plays.
Well, it is still a verb, okay?
Sure.
Just because
Is it a League of Legends verb, though?
it's well, it's both, isn't it? It's a proper noun and a verb.
It's a proper what? Anyway. Focusing on this game. Death cap on Swain. Don't see that as often, but that means the Demon Flare is going to pop off.
Damn right it is, and he's already got his Zhonya's Rod of Ages. I feel like after that, I mean, what else are you going to build? There are a lot of options.
Well, big damage is what they need to find. It's going to be a team effort. I'm actually not even sure who Trundle is going to give the Zeke's Convergence to. I guess Poppy?
Yeah, give it to Poppy. Could give it to Mundo. Yeah, I actually don't know. Maybe give it to Pyke.
Yeah! No.
No.
It's going to be double Frozen Heart here. We do see the Glacial Shroud onto Faker.
Well, it's already been picked up by Effort, but yeah, I don't see any other item that they're going to go with, and I guess they'll be spending time at different parts of the fight.
I guess it could also be Righteous Glory.
Oh, that's true. And that'd be pretty good for the Poppy.
That
been a
sounds
rush for
really
her in the
scary.
past.
Almost as scary as Pyke pressing W.
Yeah, well, that was something demonstrated right then.
Baron damage, as you'd imagine, is abysmal for SKT. So they definitely, if they start it as BBQ, you have an invitation to being a bit slower to the party. You do not want to opt into a flash heroic charge from Faker, although his flash is on cooldown for a while. Sort of team where you need to be able to read it and say, okay, the Baron damage slow, let's give them a bit more time.
Well, Faker is going to be able to get the heroic charge. This is the combination that we were talking about with the Pillar of Filth as Ignite land misses the death sentence. Okay, Keeper's Verdict misses onto Tempt, but gets the stun into the wall, and he can't take the Lantern. See you later, Aurelia. Another death for Tempt as SKT. They're diving a second turret. The box comes down and Trick. He's going to be slowed. Tal not tanking the turret, and he has full health, just running at the piggy. Ghost just has to watch as he goes down under an inhibitor turret. The Outer hasn't even died yet, SKT. What is going on? Ghost even going to get skewered as SKT make their retreat.
What's going on is we're focused on what they don't have and not focused on what they do have, and that is tankiness for days. Turrets need
Yeah.
not apply. Might as well just remove them from your calculation. As SKT, they're going to walk at Baron. Let's see how BBQ reply. They've got a little while.
Yeah, and Trick's Smite is certainly not here. So he's in the Death Chamber. We've got about 10 seconds on Tempt. As there's the last breath. Exhaust down onto Bang here as well. He's got his Onions, but I don't know whether it's off cooldown just yet. But he gets the flash and gets himself out.
Well, I mean, they had a while. I didn't mean never, but okay. They don't have Smite, so I guess that makes sense. Maybe you're going to give up the Baron. Feel a bit hard done by the team with no Baron damage. Got the buff. Goes pushes through mid lane. He's close to IE, but it might be too late for BBQ.
Yeah, and being close to IE at 30 minutes is definitely not what you want. Let's have a look at this one again. Heroic Charge was perfect from Faker.
There was just so many things affecting the Aurelia. It also got further displaced by the Swain passive away from the Lantern, so just had no way to get out to safety in that place. Did the Aurelia. Then from there, Mundo is, you know, a pretty big boy at this point.
Yeah.
Two thick boys running at the poor old Sejuani.
How many thick boys are there? I think there's 3. I mean, even Bang's got one hell of a health bar and is on his Hourglass.
Effort has like a weight band on. If you know, Pyke
Yeah.
can't gain weight. It's very awkward. He really wants to. Like, he wants to bulk up and be like Mundo, but he can't.
Yeah. He's that guy at the gym who's just like the really skinny kid, and it's just one of those things. You know, he was born like this, just wasn't as many options, but he keeps on trying.
He is. He's trying to bulk out. And
Yeah,
look, it gives him a bit of a bite,
Yeah.
but unfortunately cannot get bulky.
Yeah, and he's, you know, he's made out of sinew. He still has all the protein shakes like everybody else, but just gets laughed at. Oh, unfortunate stuff. Well, SKT, they'll take down an Ocean Drake. Another one. Probably would have liked these to be some different dragons, but it's a very rainy day. On the SKT side, triple Ocean Drake will mean that the tankiness will continue to be there even more.
Works with Spirit Visage as well for Wait for the Warmog's comical healing on good old Mundo.
Doesn't quite have his Warmogs just yet. He's gone for the colorful build. I like that. Certainly in theme of Pride Week. For the Mundo, items-wise, there's another explosion. Thank you very much, Pyke. BBQ, not a lot of options as far as countering this siege. Last game they had a lot of AoE, a lot of range. This game they've got basically
It's
none.
call it siege. It's more some minions and killing the turret.
Yeah, no, I was talking about the siege minion.
Ah.
That's the siege.
That's true.
Yeah. There's Baron buffs.
My kingdom for a banner of command.
Yeah, exactly. Faker on the split push. It's 1-3-1 with the big tanky boys in each of these side lanes. And Bang trying to use his relatively low range to get towards this turret. It's going to be the skewer back onto Ignar. Gets pulled back with the Never Move as well. We know that Strain of CC is difficult to deal with, and Ignar knows now based on his half health. Tal notices that Crazy had to move down, and he'll take that inner turret very easily. And we're getting towards 8,000 gold lead territory for SKT.
What I really want to see is final item Phantom Dancer and the Zeke's convergence on the Mundo. That's what we need to see for some sick crits with the Masochism.
Yeah. Well, it's a lot of damage onto Blank, but he's not too scared about it. Subjugate is going to be in there, and look, they're disarmed, but they don't care. It's not about damage, it's about never dying. The box comes in for Ignar. He's got Ignite still. They're trying to get rid of Faker, and they do manage to get him as Ignar so extraordinarily low. They get rid of the turret, but they lose their mid laner, and BBQ are actually okay. They're looking for the re-engage. Spike back onto Trick, but they don't want to go against the full health Sejuani.
Able to break the base with the Baron buff, but like you mentioned, Faker going down means they can't actually accentuate it with an inhibitor just yet. They're going to have to return, put their minion waves in the right order, and do it all again. It's a nice defense overall by the side of BBQ. Bit of botched execution from SKT.
Yeah, a little bit of a worry. They've got the Infinity Edge now on top of Ghost. So remember, some of these late game things that we were talking about that felt like they weren't going to happen. Still on the cards, of course, because it's not over until it's over.
Probably needs a Guardian Angel as well, though, because there's a comical amount of armor on the side of SKT. Just the most armor.
Yeah.
As Mundo very early didn't give a Mundo about his Vladimir opponent. He now has the Warmogs and Triple Ocean Drake. What we need him to do is take a lot of damage and then get the Elder Dragon and disengage. And just watch that health bar.
Yeah.
That's what I'm into. That's one of my things.
That's your kink?
Mundo health game.
Oh.
I don't know if kink's a word we can
Health
use,
regen.
so I'm not going to say that.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's your thing.
My kink is kink shaming.
Oh. Shameful.
I know. It's so good. It sort of works on itself.
Well, Pyke's got a BF sword, so that's pretty cool. Working towards Guardian Angel. And Faker, you know, I would say overall his pick has been effective, but has it been instrumental? Not so much.
No, but he does have a lot of armor. Now the Gargoyle Stone Plate completed. Interesting that it was a Frozen Heart. Wanted to get the 40% CDR. Throw out as many buttons as possible. As Trick will take a Lantern to get himself out of the way. That was a lot of weird movement, but eventually does just mean nothing. Vision of Empire for buttloads of damage. My god, Bang is huge.
What happens when you get an early death cap? Usually we see a lot, much more utility, and it's not quite as much items on a Swain, but with 36 minutes in, Cleavers start to hit. We're waiting for an explosive end to this game as BBQ kind of at the whims, and that's not who you want to engage.
Yep, the ultimate flies in, and Tal, you're exactly right. No one's going to be able to do too much meaningful damage to him. The box was invested to that as well, but they're unable to defend their inhibitor. Top lane inhibitor turret now. Another minion wave conga lining towards. The Vision going to be available to stop BBQ from following SKT. Minute and a half on the Baron as far as it respawning. You mentioned Elder Drake, minute and a half on that one as well. Potential trade, maybe.
Probably need the Baron here to close the game to SKT. Their siege, as we mentioned, is minions rather than the champions, who are all melee or basically melee. And when it comes to sieging,
Well, Guardian Angel now done for Ghost.
that's something. That is a step forward. Needs to ult and live for a while because his ult is going to be much more about giving him the 50% armor penetration than it is going to be about giving him any wombo presence, because no one to wombo.
He probably wants his Mortal Reminder completed as well before he's really happy. But yes, you're right. Getting through the brick wall that is SKT's front line. Going to be rough. And now Banshee's Veil and Zhonya's for Bang means that he's going to be very safe as well.
I wonder if Blade of the Ruined King is the most damage you can get as the next item for the Yasuo.
Yeah, or whether it's Bloodthirster still.
I think Blade against the team he's facing seems very high value.
Yeah.
And the lifesteal to keep him alive is, you know, more than
real
nothing. But man, SK Telecom are really, really tanky.
They are so tanky. It's not like we're so used to this patch just talking about massive amounts of damage on a lot of our a lot of our players. I mean, unless it's Mundo, but he's just hilariously tanking. Now we've got just everyone. It's a league of tanks for SKT.
World of Tanks.
Oh, wow. We are really talking about a lot of different games today.
It's a global offense.
Well, it might be globally offensive to a lot of people. As BBQ, they're going to get on the Baron. Effort is right here. They do have basically full information that this is happening, but Faker's on the top side.
Here comes
Teleport,
a big tank.
Yeah, it's going to come in. Not going to cancel that one. Gets him right into the middle of this fight as well. Temp just can't do anything. They're all on top of each other as Ghost goes down to the Guardian Angel before he does anything. The pullback comes in. Effort's getting the resets. Boop, boop. And that is 2 kills real easy for SKT. And now it's their turn to start off this Baron.
With all their CC and how big they are as tanks, you see BBQ just disengage in different directions. They're not able to get value out of the damage they do have, and certainly they can't even put a speck of damage onto the front line of SKT. There will be the second Baron of the game. Very necessary for SKT to close it.
Yeah, it's beginning to seem like, okay, now this is going to be an old person reference potentially, but the Austin Powers joke of the steamroller just coming at the guy and him just standing there going, I can't move, because there's just no options. And they're like a steamroller because they're so tanky. Crazy, not sure he can do much damage, has to flash to get himself out of the way. Tempt as well. Does have the GA available, but it's going to be rough sailing here for the Aurelia. Takes a Lantern to get out of the way of the Nexus turrets. The Skewer's going to land as well as Tempt has the W, but won't have his life for very much longer. Down to the GA now as BBQ at least have all of their members alive, but there's an exposed Nexus. They have to win this fight if they want to stay in it. Faker, steadfast presence protecting the backline. Ghost can't do very much, bopped against the wall as now Trick trying to do what he can, but no one's dying because they're too damn tanky. They'll just take down the Nexus, and it's a 2-0 for SKT. It was slow moving, but effective.
And that's really all you can say they needed to do in this series, was to win it, not really have too many points where they were susceptible, and close it out cleanly. And while it took a long time, around 40 minutes here in game number 2, they were in control for the majority of it. Faker makes us wonder with the mid lane Poppy that honestly could have been a lot of other champions, didn't really end up being a big factor in this game. Though Bang Swain was something that we could definitely compliment. His command of that champion on full display in game number 2. This team goes over to China on the back of a victory, and for the region of Korea, that's good news, and for SKT fans, music to their ears.
Absolutely fantastic as well. Didn't have to display too much, didn't give away too many strategies. It was a clean 2-0 in the end with very similar compositions. Just build a run at you and then take down your opponent. I have to say, Faker's Aurelia, an absolute joy to watch in game number 1, and you're exactly right. The Swain did exactly what it needed to do in game number 2.
It slowly rolled through and squished them. That's what happened there, is unfortunately there just wasn't enough damage from BBQ.
At least someone liked my steamroller reference.
Yeah. I mean, you did kind of reference something old and then poorly explain the reference in a long time.
It wasn't super great. And then there was a fight that broke out anyway, so we couldn't have even... There wasn't even time to explain anything, but still, it was relevant at the time.
I'll take your word for it, Atlas.
Thanks.
This recent one, the ones before weren't that good.
Yeah.
But from BBQ Olivers, unfortunately that means we do have that relegation match, Atlas. We do have the two teams that, at this point, with both 0-8, probably are going to be contesting in the relegations. There has been great escapes. MVP famously made a great escape in summer of last year after Rift Rivals. After Rift Rivals, if the winning doesn't start, it will never start, as I don't remember there being a Zoe in this game.
That's a perplexing Zoe.
I guess that's Poppy's damage? Wait, no, that can't be. That's not right.
No, it's not.
It's just
It's
wrong.
completely different game stage. I don't even think it's from the same series.
Okay, well, that happened, yeah.
That did happen. That was from our previous series. Good times. Good to know that the Vladimir Morgana lane from Hanwha Life Esports worked out yet again, like in game 1 of our previous series. It will forever be a mystery how much damage Poppy did.
This reminds me of when, was it Snowflower won an MVP in spring season when he wasn't in the league anymore?
And it wasn't even his picture. It was brilliant.
Well, bit of a technical wombo there. Means that unfortunately went to the shot we usually go to when we go to the interview also. So now we're just looking at players being like, hey, how are you guys doing? Sadly for BBQ, not so good. Ghost not looking so happy. But now we can use augmented reality to show you this.
Yeah, who's going to be the MVP? It's going to be Faker once again. 500 points now, equaling out with the top dogs. All right. I wasn't expecting Faker to grab it with the Poppy, but
I didn't vote for Faker, guys.
yeah.
In game 1 I did, in game 2 I didn't. But now, he's right up there with his former teammate in Lava at 500 points. He ran around and slammed some people, and, you know, Space Jam is really what Poppy's all about.
Yeah, and did manage to, navigate this fight extraordinarily well. In fact, won it for them as there was the Keeper's verdict to get rid of the Vladimir. Look, he played well.
Did he? I mean, he was fine.
Yeah.
The guy just did Poppy things, died randomly a couple of times, and I like the idea behind the pick. I think that Trundle and Poppy have some synergy when it comes to mid lane ganks, but I thought the Swain, Bang had a really good game
Yeah.
in this one in particular, so that would have been my vote, but it's all about consensus. It's a democracy. That means, look at that, look at this amazing highlight play. I've been missing the ult, then hitting a targeted ability.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Managed to get it into the wall.
What about
though.
Tal? He ran it trick real good.
Yeah. He should have got it. Maybe they'll bring him out for the MVP interview anyway. Just to explain how fun it is playing Mundo. As Blank did a little bit of just taking a beating as well. Not much more happening as Faker misses another ultimate.
Narrative MVP.
Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Effort as well. I mean, he actually landed some deaths from below. There were a lot of options here this game, but there's a Faker fan. She's definitely happy that he managed to win this MVP. So it will be the back-to-back MVP winner of Faker for our MVP interview. Will be happening right after this. So guys, we are going to throw it over to Andy for some interview translation.
Thank you guys. That was the final match for tonight as SKT with the back-to-back victories is able to take down BBQ Olivers. So we now have the post-game MVP interview with the two MVPs of SKT. We are here with Bang and Faker. It is the first MVP interview with you here in Sangam.
정말 오랜만에 상암에서
I mean, it's been a while since I last did my MVP interview here in Sangam,
저희가 많이 졌구나라는 생각이 드네요.
and that makes me feel like I've lost quite a lot. Bang, I mean, this game wasn't that really easy for you. So would you like to say a few words to your fans?
오늘
Hello.
힘든 경기였던 것 같아서
Today's game was not all that easy,
하고 있었는데 아직도 아쉬운 점이
and I'm a little disappointed in my performance.
그 정도로 선수들 입장에서도 좀 쉽지 않은 경기였던
Yeah, I mean, the players are saying that the game was very hard.
뭔가 이렇게 2세트를 여유 있게 준비한다든가 기뻐하는 모습보다는 굉장히 좀 심각하게 다 같이
Rather than having more of a relaxing atmosphere in the second game, you guys were actually very
개인적으로
focused
실수했을 때
and very
실수도
concentrating.
있었고, 그러니까 실수가 제가 막 직접적으로 잘리거나 그런 실수가
I made a lot of silly
안
mistakes,
보이는 그냥 좀 제가 킬을 딸 수 있는데 못한
and there were moments where I could get the kill but I couldn't.
그리고 또 경기력 자체도
And my overall performance,
일단은 상위권을 목표로 하기에는 너무
and
부담이
to aim for the top spot, my performance wasn't apt for it.
물론 그럼에도 불구하고 MVP 발표가 되니까 약간 화면에
Nevertheless, you were voted as the MVP, and you were shown smirking on the screen.
기분은 좀 제가 실수도 많이 하고 그리고 또 준식이가 잘했잖아요.
I made a lot of mistakes, but in the other hand, Bang did a lot of good jobs.
그러니까 뭔가 좀
And I thought Bang would get the MVP, but I was quite flabbergasted when I got the MVP.
장면이 MVP 선정에 영향을 주지 않나 싶어서 킬 장면 저희가 좀
So we have a few kill montages ready for us to watch.
그냥 상황 쪽으로 들어가가지고 바로 킬.
So you just go in without any hesitation and get the kill.
이거는 사실 탐켄치가 멀었어가지고
This one, the Tom Kench was actually quite far away.
좀 중간에 이제 제가 들어가려고 할 때 노우
So I was sure that I could get the kill.
들어가서 초시기를 빼자 이렇게 생각을 했는데
And then
스턴이 걸렸는데
first I was intending to actually make the enemy use a stopwatch, but it actually ended up as kill.
노리고 있으셨던 건 맞던 거죠? 흐름을 바꾸려고.
뭐 이렐리아가 언제든지 좀 상대가 혼자 있으면
You know, the Irelia, the champion itself, is able to really catch out those vulnerable enemies.
어쨌든 메타에 대해서 당연히 좀 쉽지 않으실 거고 연습할 것도
You know, I guess the
정말
current
많으실
meta
텐데
is really hard for you guys to
스윙
adapt to.
챔피언 뽑도 지금 장난 아니세요.
맞아요.
좀 어떠세요? 하다
And
보니까
bang, your
처음에
champion pool has been just phenomenal.
일단 스웨인 같은 경우는
As for Swain,
그래도 어느 정도 잘 봤더라고요. 저랑.
you know, it's a good match for me,
또 준비하고 있는 게 많은데
and I have a lot of cards that I prepared.
그냥 좋다고 생각하는 픽
And
위주로
you know,
하고
for now, I think it's a very good pick,
많은 챔피언들이 나오고 있어서
and a lot of
준비 많이
potential champions are still rising. So you know, I'm still looking forward to using more.
사실 원딜 위주로 했던 선수들 입장에서 좀 당황스러운 메타일 수도 있어요.
You know, for AD carries who are very used to playing those range champions, this meta might not be too pleasant.
스윙 조합은 어떻게 평가하세요? 장점이 뭐 많기도
What do you think about the Pyke Swain combination?
일단 파이크라는 챔피언이 좀 로밍 가기에도
You know, the Pyke champion itself is very good at roaming,
저희가 이제 6렙을 찍으면
and when we get to level 6,
받을 수 있겠다
we
싶어서
can really go oppressive in the laning phase.
아마 선픽하기에 좀 무난하다고
And I think Pyke is really a good pick to first pick.
선수가 지금 파이크로는 계속해서 연승 기록을
네,
가져가고 있는데 네. 파이크를 제외한 나머지 서포터 플레이 사실은 뭐 잔질
You know, effort has been just so good on Pyke.
좀 많이 하셨어요.
And you know,
그래서
apart from
같이
Pyke,
플레이하는
he has
뱅
been a
선수
little
입장에서
struggling.
이런 게 되게 가능성 있고 잘한다 뭐
So you know,
말해줄 만한
as a
경우가
partner
있어요.
Bang, what do you think?
저희가 전체적으로 좀 실수가 많이 나와서
You know, overall we made
상호만의
a lot of
실수가
mistakes,
아니었다고 생각을
and I feel like it's not only
하고
effort's
선수
mistakes.
같은 경우에는 본인이 이제 유동적인 플레이라고 해야
As for
되나?
effort,
그런 거를 좀
effort like to
잘
make those very
편이에요.
flexible plays.
그런 부분이 좀 많이 좋은 것 같아요.
So I think that's a really good
그리고 요즘
attribute for him.
SKT를 보면 좀 되게 재밌는 것 같아요. 사실 예전에
You know, watching the SKT these days is quite interesting.
했어도 기본적으로 뱀픽에 있어서 엄청 뭐 정말 뭐 재밌는 픽이라든가 신경도를
You know, SKT from the past has
요즘은
never really gone experimental with the bans and picks.
굉장히
But now I get this feeling that you guys are also, you know, quite experimental with the picks and bans.
방향성 자체가 좀 회전이 된 건가요? 좀 어떠세요?
So you know, what is this kind of sudden change?
지금 메타 같은 경우에는
네.
픽의 중요성이
You know,
예전보다
this
더
current meta,
중요성으로
the picks and bans are really like prominent. They are really significant in terms of gameplay.
했는데 상대가 만약에 또 새로운 픽을 가져와서
And so you know, when the opposition
잘하는 팀이어도
makes
또
a
이길 수 있는
new
그런
champion
부분에
pick and ban,
저희가
you know, we always have to have the strategy to counter them.
뭔가 좀 새로운 전략을 써서
You know, so we always gotta have a few strategies in mind.
성적 자체도 안 좋다 보니까
And you know, our current win rate hasn't been all that great, so we always have to stay prepared.
결과물이 뽀삐가 아니었나 싶은데.
So I guess the result of that was Poppy.
그렇죠. 핵심은 이제 이렐리아를 카운터 친다. 그리고
The goal was to initially counter Irelia.
또 미드 뽀삐 어떤 장점이 있냐면
So what are the advantages of playing Miss Poppy?
팔아주세요.
네.
지금 뭐 포이커라고 다 난리가 났어요.
No, a lot of solo queue people are very scared right now.
뽀삐는 제가 사실 연습 때좀잘
뽀삐
많이 안 해봤거든요.
It's the pick that I haven't utilized much in scrims.
처음이나 두 번째 이 정도로 꺼내는 건데
It's I only played it like 1 or 2 times,
가 부족했던
and I definitely figured out that I lack in proficiency.
어쨌든 좀 상대가 일단 뽀삐가 미드에서 뽀삐를 쓰면
When you
미드
play
상대로
Poppy in the mid lane,
좋아요.
네.
네, 그런 점도 있고
It's quite good, has many good attributes,
네, 또이 스케일이 있으니까 또 킬 따기도 쉽고
and the E skill lets you you know, calculate the kills.
뱀픽과 뭐 메타 따라가는 게 이제 중요하다고 말씀해 주셨는데 뭐 최근 모든 팀이 그렇지만 SKT도 그렇게 연습을 진짜 살인적으로
As you
많이 하고
mentioned, the
있어요.
picks and bans are really significant in the current meta.
아직도
But I heard that you guys SKT have engaged in scrims like day and night.
한다고 생각할 때는 이제 다른
No.
팀들보다 좀 월등히 게임량이 많거나
When we think that we are practicing hard,
아 우리가 진짜 열심히 해서
we need to practice like the double the amount of other teams.
워낙 지금 모든 팀들이 열심히 하고 있어서
And you know, all the LCK teams are actually trying really hard right now.
가능한 최대한 많은 게임을
And you know, we gotta also
운동을 되게 좋아하는데 사실
try really hard.
지금 막
And you know, I like
실제
sports,
짬을 자는 경우가 많아졌거든요.
네.
선수들이 그냥 어디 기대기만 하면 10분
but
잠들고
you know, I haven't been able to do much sports these days because of practice.
밥 먹는 시간 잠자는
And
시간
apart from
게임하고
sleeping time and eating time, all I play this league.
예전에 그 표준화된 어떤 스크린 일정 이거 외에 나머지 시간을 최근에는 뭐 팀마다 조금씩 다르겠지만
You know,
진짜 시간을
apart from the
스토리에서
standard
연습들을
scrim
그렇게 많이
times,
한다고 하더라고요.
I heard you guys were actually
그런 부분이
practicing
어떻게 보면
really a
SKT
lot,
올라오는데 영향을 주지
and I
않나
think
싶습니다.
today's victory
그리고 또
definitely
이제
proves that.
SK를 잠깐 쉬는 동안에 또 SK 대표로서 이제 리프트
So you guys are going to the Rift Rivals as the
그거에
LCK
대해서
representative.
기대감과 우려 중에 저는 그래도
You know,
기대감이
a lot of
있지
people
않을까
are
싶어요.
having
경기를
high
올라오면서
expectations on you and
가지고
simultaneously
리프트 SK 앞으로
are a little bit worried about
안전
you.
요소가 되지 않을까 싶어서 페이커 선수는 좀 어떤 기대감이 있으세요?
Faker, what expectation do you have?
일단 지난 리프트 라이벌즈 때 저희 SKT가
In the last Rift Rivals,
않은 모습을 보였거든요.
SKT has shown quite a good performance.
또 4위 치고는 잘한다 이런 느낌을 좀 주고 싶고요.
You know, this time I also want to show great performance, and
이제 국제 대회도 저희가 그 롤드컵 이후에 되게 오랜만에 나가는 거.
in international tournament wise, you know, it's been quite a while since I went to one, apart from the Worlds.
오랜만이니까 또 좋은 성적 보이고 싶고.
And since it's been a long time, I want to show the best
뱅
performance.
선수는 어떠세요?
Best, what do you think? Bang, what do you think?
일단 저희가 지금 분위기가 좀 많이 안 좋은데
Like the team atmosphere hasn't been that good these days.
기회를 잡고 싶고
And with this Rift Rivals, I kind of want to turn around everything. And we are making the best performance
보여서 좀 기회를 잡고
and with the
들어가야
best
될것 같아요.
preparation.
백 선수가 어떻게 보면은 계속해서 지금 경기 생각하고 이러는 게 저도 이제 뭐 꾸준히 봤으니까는 경기 속에 빠져서 그냥 그 다음 경기 생각을 할 때 보통 오히려 진짜 현실로 못 들어오고 그러더라고요. 그러니까 그 정도로 지금
You know, Bang,
알고
you're
있으니까는
always
팬
thinking about the next
분들께서
match,
응원해주시면 좋을 것
and that's
같습니다.
a really good
팬
pro
분들께
mindset.
특별히 인사로 부탁드릴 게 있어가지고 SKT 남은 경기와 또 상암에서의 첫 인터뷰가 아니라 이제 둘째 셋째가 있을 수 있도록 잘하겠다라고 뱅 선수가 먼저 팬분들께
So Bang, could you say a few words to your fans?
팬분들께 감사 인사. 앞으로 잘하겠다.
지금 스웨인이
괜찮아요. 네네.
지금 저희가 지금 하위권에 머물고 있어서
We are in the lower standing right now,
위기감 많이 느끼고 있고
and we are really worried.
빨리 탈출할 수 있도록
And I hope we escape ASAP.
믿고 기다려 주시면 감사.
And I hope you guys can wait for us to redeem ourselves. Thank you.
아 죄송하다요. 네 팬분들 이렇게 열심히.
Please don't be sorry.
네 페이커 선수는 또 이제 리프트 라이벌즈도 있고 LCK 준비하고.
Faker, you have Rift Rivals, you have LCK, you have a lot of things going on.
예 팬분들과 재밌는 시간 만들기 위해서.
설마
네 오늘 이제 위클리.
So Faker, in order to communicate with the fans, he's actually making an appearance in the weekly LCK today, which happens after this broadcast, and it's quite popular amongst those domestic Korean people.
I wonder if he actually got to like decide that now, or if he got dropped in it.
Uh-oh.
네,
This would be the time to
LCK
to ask him
지금
because
좀
he'd have to say
어쨌든
yes.
제가 좀 뭔가 성적이 좋으면 기분이 좋을
No, in
텐데
weekly LCK,
좀
if
할수 있을 텐데
I had great results, I would be happy.
뭐 그렇긴 해도 뭐 팬분들과 함께하는 시간
But as long as I can have a time with valuable time with my fans,
또 이야기들을 재밌게 풀어 나가기
I'll be
위해서
happy and share a lot of interesting stories as well.
위클리 LCK에서도 많은 분들이 또 재밌게 보셨으면
I hope a lot of people enjoy watching me in weekly LCK.
많이 볼 수 있으면 좋을 텐데 최종 성적이나 뭐 이런 것 때문에 아쉬움이 있었을 거고.
And definitely it would be nice to see more of you, and also with better results if possible.
점점 기세는 올라오고 있으니까요. SKT 앞으로
SKT definitely doing a good job these days.
펼쳐질 리프트 라이벌즈에서의 활약도 기대하도록
And we look forward to your performance in Rift Rivals as well. And that's the end of the interview. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Andy, for the translation. Great to hear from Bang and Faker, even if it was just Faker that picked up the MVPs. We're going to go over the results. It was a 2-0 for SKT, but with some longer games than we were potentially expecting from this particular matchup.
Still, convincingly the better team over 2 games.
Yeah.
They do take down the 2-0. They go over to China on a 2-0 victory, so I think most people will be sated from this. If you guys are wondering about the weekly LCK, it'll be uploaded onto the OGN YouTube afterwards, but sadly no subtitles, so go out there and if you can get value out of it, do. Always good to hear from Faker. And for SKT, they do separate themselves from that relegation match. It's a dogfight, Atlas. It seems
yeah.
like BBQ and Jin Air are going to have to rumble in the jungle 1v1 for 9th spot, which only gives you the most tender of leads in many, many ways. So congratulations to SKT. They do go into Rift Rivals 8th. That's a little bit sad.
It certainly is.
Then MVP could fall below.
That's true, that's true. There's still an opportunity for MVP to to drop the ball, which they have done in the past, and that would only mean a points difference with a scoreline the same.
Look at the dates, guys. So 7-1 tomorrow, 1st of July. Gen G vs Afrika. That should be fun. 2 Rift Rivals teams. Actually, no, sorry, only Afrika Rift Rivals. I forgot Gen G couldn't get there. KT Rolster versus MVP, and then a very long break, 10 days. We do not come back on the Tuesday after Rift Rivals. Come back on the Wednesday with a really fantastic match. Griffin versus Afrika. Finally, the return of Griffin after their loss versus KT.
Yeah, and we'll see what Griffin can do up against the Afrika Freaks, who have been stumbling a little bit. Found themselves falling to Hanwha Life Esports, which we will see right afterwards. KT Rolster are going to see if their form continues. And they were the team that performed for us last Rift Rivals, and we'll see whether they're going to be once again as we move to the next one. So Korea looking to have a bit of a turnaround in that tournament.
Speaking of moving, guys, twitch.tv/LPL1, third game between RNG and IG. That one up in the air. You should definitely watch that. Papa sends you there. Papa sends love also. It's been a fun week and one more match day, I guess, and then I guess Rift Rivals happens. And
yeah, a bit of a holiday, though, for Papa Smithy, potentially.
That's true. We get some holidays. That's always good to know. Can Korea actually win this time? Remember, China's the best region in the world in quite a few different metrics at the moment.
Yeah,
so.
and look, there's been a lot of people on the LPL broadcast touting China as being the very
Rift
best
Rivals,
reason. You know,
All-Star,
I know,
MSI.
they're not wrong. But
3 out of 4 reasons, baby.
We got to try and fight back. You know, we've got to get
do.
our region up there.
We
I
do.
mean, everyone was used to Korea winning. What's going to happen when it all changes? The world might implode, Pop. It might all
true.
just go wrong.
We're just not sure over here. Shout out to Mad Life also. Had a chat with him on the Korean broadcast today. Nice to have him here, and thank you guys for joining us. Time for you to send them out.
Yeah, exactly. So good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for sticking around for this, the final series of our night. Remember, there's still more League of Legends to come. One more day before Rift Rivals, so tune into that. But for now, good night.